in 3, 2, 1, c'est parti!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Costa Mesa Grand Prix. So obviously this is yet another SoCal Crit. This is the Pro 1 through 3 race. I myself am a Cat 2. My name's Dalton Thornsberry, and yeah, ride and race bikes. So last time we did Costa Mesa Grand Prix, I raced the 30 plus 3-4 category, and yeah, I'm old, folks. What's up? I took third place, so landed myself on a box there in a field sprint after working way too hard all day long. So today, a little bit different script. I'm riding with a teammate, Julian, who you saw at the start there in the Deus Velox kit. We're white and gold, but you're on the purple Rita Esprits with the scalar wheels, white logos, and all that jazz. I am not feeling good, man. I really hadn't ridden my bike in like 2 weeks, and Manhattan Beach Grand Prix the week before this, where Julian took home the Category 2 state championship, was really the only ride I had done. I did race the day before this in 90 plus degree heat, and honestly felt like trash. So did not get a good night's sleep after that, and woke up the next morning and was like, well, I guess here we go again. So my role today is working for Julian, and this crit is usually a really fast one. It's not ideal for breakaway riding just because there is so much headwind on one of the straights. And right on cue, Corey Lockwood, a 3-time US, I believe, amateur national time trial champion, launches the first attack of the day, and he takes a Scott Redding cycling team rider with him, and I was pretty close to the front there, saw that happen, and my role today is to not let Corey Lockwood get away from the bunch. The idea is that Julian, he's the sprinter, he's got a heck of a sprint. He sprinted his way to, I think, 11th overall in the Manhattan Beach Grand Prix, which locked him up first in Cat 2s, but yeah, Julian's an animal. He can sprint. My goal today is to ride for that result. I know that he can hold his own. Big factor here is obviously these two Miami Blazers, one being Corey Lockwood, so we're going to be chasing him around all day, and the other being Dante Young. You guys are probably super familiar with him. He is a very talented sprinter and is also based right here in SoCal. So you can see Corey's doing a lot of towing to pull these early riders back. They got a pretty good gap pretty early because no one was really motivated to do anything. We're just keeping it tempo. But a lot of the day is a lot of this until a little bit later on. Let's see how this race unfolds. It's a super dynamic one, and honestly, yeah, let's start playing Chase Corey Lockwood. All right, so it's still pretty early in the race. I think we're, 4 or 5 minutes in. There's been a little bit of mix-up. You guys just saw the move where Corey was chasing some folks that were off the front, and now another move goes. I realized that the Scott Redding rider had kind of pulled off, and I was out in no man's land to the left there. I just go ahead and hit that with some acceleration, ramp it up to like 900,000 watts, give it a little kick to get separation from the pack, and now I find myself in this move of 4, and it's pretty well represented. So I didn't really talk about the other kind of duos in the group. Some of those group duos, one is Team 6, so you've got John Janik in front of me here. Rex Roberts is sitting in the pack, so that duo, very strong. SoCal Cycling, I think this is Bergen or Luke Lynch. It's actually, yeah, I think this is Bergen West. And Luke Lynch is hanging out in the pack. And then myself and Julian is hanging out in the pack. So we're kind of well represented. The only people obligated to chase this thing down is really the Blazers, and I guess also the Scott Redding cycling team folks. The kid in all white there, young gun, he's like 18 years old. He mopped up the 2-3 earlier in the day. Very cool of him. I'm pulling through there, but I realized that, okay, we're caught, and right on cue, bam, Corey Lockwood, 3-time national time trial champion, hits the front with just a crazy turn of speed. Now I'm going backward very fast, so you can see how fast they're going, and this is the headwind section. Like I said, it's a 12-mile-an-hour headwind, so they were absolutely hammering. I'm just gonna drop onto the back here and recover. My heart rate's already pretty high, around 170, and I was like, dude, man, I don't know how I'm feeling just yet. So I'm kind of trying to play it safe, slide into the back, chill out for a minute, hoping that the peloton will chase this dude back. That brings me to the next critical moment. There's essentially a field split that has happened because of that massive surge. So my teammate Julian is in the front group. I really have no obligation to get up there. I'm gonna let some of these other dudes fill in, and once we get close enough, that's when I want to jump across to it. So I'm putting down the power here, just holding onto these wheels because we're in like a mad dash, just trying to make it across to this front group. And right as we attach, you're gonna see some interesting stuff happen here. So the group catches Lockwood, everything kind of explodes. He's pretty impatient, realizes that everybody has immediately sat up after chasing him. And here we go again. The dude accelerates into the corner and just keeps it fast. The guy just does unlimited watts. It's pretty wild. And he's already like up the road again. I'm pretty sure he's up there with 1 or 2 other riders. So it's just relentless. And this is what's going to be happening until the elastic snaps enough that he can get out there by himself. All right, so Corey is up the road solo. You can see Jason Paez with Legion of Los Angeles. He's coming back to the pack after being out in front himself, giving chase. I think he was trying to bridge and get across. No dice for him. I am on Dante's wheel right now, and Dante is the other Miami Blazer in the pack. Just following wheels here. This straightaway was hard every time. There was really no reprieve. So it was 350, 400 watts. I'm realizing that I want to keep my momentum rolling here. I, like I said, am on chase duty, so anytime the peloton kind of slows up, I want to come through with some speed if I have the opportunity to get around the front riders and just stay on the gas and keep it fast, because we don't want him to get too much time. If he does, he's been known to lap the field, things along those lines. If any riders decide to counter stuff, I want to follow that as well. Maybe I can get towed across to Lockwood and shut it down. You can see Rex, the other Team 6 rider that I was talking about. He's up here. He's pedaling hard, doing the same thing, giving chase. That Flex rider attacked over the top. That dude yo-yoed us pretty much the whole time. I look back, realize we have a gap. So as I come by Rex, I tell him, I'm like, yo, jump on, let's go. And I'm going to pull through it, 375, 400. Keep it hard enough that, you know, it's fast. 27 miles an hour into a 12 mile an hour headwind's no joke. But I also don't want to like murder Rex after he's just been out there pulling hard by himself. So give him a little reprieve here. And honestly, I thought we had a couple more guys than we did. Looking at my rear cam, it looks like it's only 3 of us. So I flick and poor Rex has to come through again. But it also looks like, you know, Jason Paez has patched this thing up and drug Yogi across with Ice Speed Felt. He's a super strong rider, very good breakaway rider, and the dude just does watts all day long. We've got a kid that mopped up the 2-3. I think his name's John Sermon, maybe. Sorry if I got your first name wrong, my dude. But yeah, Sermon, last name. But he is also in this group. So we've got a good little group of dudes here. The problem is the organization is not really there just yet. So we're trying this for, you know, maybe like another half lap or something, and the peloton is just on full gas. I swear to God, the peloton was single file all day long. So I asked Yogi there, because he had already taken a look back when he pulled off the front. I asked if we're caught, because I felt like we were, and he didn't confirm, but I took a look there as we came out of the corner. It's always a good opportunity to sneak a quick look, and I realized that we are caught. So it is what it is. No dice on that one. We are still drilling though, because people are still chasing, and the ultimate goal is to bring back Corey Lockwood, who is within our sight, but he's just dangling like 15 seconds off the front, or maybe a little less, 10 seconds or something off the front at this point. But we're hammering. We keep doing this for a long time, but we just can't get to the dude. And I think that's because part of it, when we hit the headwind, you know, Paez flicks and nobody is gonna come through. And that causes just kind of chaos with this organized chase. I'm doing 400 in the wheels. Rex moves up. He's trying to get back on the chase. He realizes it's not fast enough. The whole dynamic of this race is actually pretty cool. And everybody's commitment to chasing was pretty cool. But some people, I think they just didn't have the gas today. It is a P1 through 3 race, so there's a little bit of a fitness disparity there. I mean, myself included, having come off of not riding my bike. I think the first 20 something minutes of the race or something like that, I averaged 290 watts or 295 watts, and it only finally settled down after like minute 40. But even then it stayed up. It was like 270. So I see there's kind of a break happening here, because I went wide out of the corner, tell Jason, I was like, good pull, man, and then jumped. And this is kind of my opportunity when this counter move goes. I'm like, all right, is there going to be another break from the bunch that then goes out there and, you know, chases down Lockwood, and we organize and work together like a 6-guy organized effort? That's about the only chance I see of us bringing him back. So I'm either riding to be in this move. If I'm not in it, I have to chase it or jump to it because Julian is in the pack and he's sprinting. We hammer on like this, dude. Look at my power, 440 watts, just trying to get back to the wheel after jumping at like 900, 1,000. I don't know how many times I did that in this race, but you can see my heart rate is starting to creep up. And there's just like no organization out of this bunch here either. You'll see like once somebody does pull off, I think Yogi pulls through hard, but the commitment is just really not there. And then Rex was kind of going back to the pack, but realized there was a little bit of gap. So Rex jumps back up to me. It was really like tough dynamics to navigate here. And so we're kind of stuck. There, Yogi pulls off and we're still driving this thing, but it's like you're not seeing the gap come down. That's what was absolutely insane. The man had to have been doing like 450 watts up there, I swear. And one thing here too that was kind of tough is when people are pulling off, they're sort of pulling to the right and then onto the sheltered side. Ideally, they would pull into the wind. So I was gonna go up the gutter here, but then I kind of got the door closed on me, and I was like, oh man. Which in turn means that the chase gets slowed down a little bit. So that was my bad. And then I realized what was going on. So I was just in the way at that point. I pulled left, and I want to try and slot back in somewhere. But the chase goes on and on like this for, dude, 20 or 30 minutes. It's actually crazy. The whole peloton, and you can see my rear cam, is just single file. And this is like 50 dudes deep. I think only 31 guys or something finished. So it was full gas. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And Corey being out front solo with a 10, 15 second gap kept it full gas. All right, so now this is maybe 10 minutes later in the race. There's just more groups of like 1 or 2 trying to get across, jumping over the top of the organized chase or semi-organized chase, trying to get out there. And after maybe 5 to 10 minutes chilling in the back or sitting mid-pack, I am back up at the front, doing the thing once again, hammering my face off. So I guess the whole like sickness and, you know, not having ridden my bike thing is not necessarily killing me, because I was up here doing a lot of work. And you can see that from my power numbers basically the entire race. So this group here is hammering once again. We have yet another gap. The field at like certain points would just give up holding the wheel and flick. They actually were just like, dude, I don't know what to do, can't hang on, flick the rider behind them, but then it opens a gap and some people just couldn't close it. So it was like, now there's these like weird groups, these weird chase groups that are just out in front hammering, doing 600 watts. And so I realized we have a little gap here, I think, and looking behind, it seems like it might be a good opportunity with this group to get up the road. And the reason being is because this group is sort of the group of individuals that has been doing a large majority of the work up to this point anyway. So the ideal scenario is that all these dudes that have been working together the whole time to try and bring Corey back get up here and continue to work and work together. So Yogi is coming back after having driven a lot of that pace, and he's getting attacked. Rex realizes that. He comes over the top to follow that move, and I pull through as hard as I can because I also want to get across to it. But at a certain point, man, I'm also kind of shelled there, and I look back, I'm like, dude, I cannot do it, and I cannot get across. I need a break. So I pull to the left there, hoping that somebody will come through, and then this ends up getting patched up as well. And Dante's just sitting in good position here, chilling, man. He has no obligation to do a gosh darn thing with his teammate up the road. All right on cue, about 10 minutes later in the race, once again, Jason Paez, Legion of Los Angeles, is in front of me, and Yogi, I speed Phil, sends a little flyer there, and Jason's gonna follow that. I'm luckily on a good wheel there, so I go ahead, pull through with Jason and Yogi, and this is a good little group to have. but the peloton is attached. We didn't really get any separation. So Jason's chasing down a group of riders that has jumped. I think it's actually just a duo. It's Ronnie Toth in his sunflower kit in all its glory, and I think one other rider, and they are up the road trying to get across. And at this point, we had Corey Lockwood to within like 10 or 15 seconds or something. The dude is still up the road by himself, which is absolute insanity. And I know we're getting pretty close. I'm pretty sure we could see him in the straightaway. And Ronnie and John Janik with Team 6, they were up the road. So I'm like, dude, at this point, I'm going to pull through hard. 430 watts. I'm doing everything I can to bring that gap down as much as possible because it is getting later in the race. It's a 70-minute crit, just over an hour. And I want to make sure that I'm actually working as hard as I can to hopefully just bring back some time. I'm hoping that as it gets later in the race, Corey is getting at least a little bit tired, but it's really just not the case. I've been doing over 400 watts for the entirety of this pool. I think I'm finally starting to come down to still over 400, 440. And I'm just drilling out of my mind to do anything I can. Yogi gets across to me there. And after we get up here just a hair, I didn't realize Yogi had to come across like that. So I flick him through, poor guy. And he just keeps on the freaking pedals. He's absolutely hammering as well. The whole race is like this. I don't even know what to say. And Julian, my teammate, you can see he's slotted in like fifth or sixth wheel now. He's moving his way towards the front. Dante's also in the picture there. And I'm gassed, dude. So time to go back to the back again and chill out for a little bit until I can recover and then try and put some damage into that gap once again. And after that pull, there was, I think, one other cycle of riders trying to get off the front and Yogi pulling and a few others. And we got the gap down to, I think, under 10 seconds, like 7 seconds, which is a very bridgeable gap if somebody would have jumped. But the peloton explodes and nobody actually jumps, which then just allows the gap to go back out. That was really our last ditch effort at bringing Lockwood back. He now has, I think, a 15 to 20 second gap, and we're coming into 1 to go. I'm at this point on lead out duty. Julian, my teammate, number 4, is right in front of me. I get squeezed a little bit in that corner, but I know I need to get up to him so that I can do something here. And since we're just a duo, there are really only a couple of options, and I have to make a decision. My decision here is to put in the deepest possible effort I can coming into this last lap so that I can hopefully cut down enough time that the rest of the lead out stays so fast that maybe the sprint gets him in the end. And this one rider took off and sent a flyer there, and I'm like, all right, cool, it gives me something to chase. I'm up over 500 watts. I trust Julian's ability to freelance. Otherwise, I probably would have sat in and waited longer and then just played lead out man for real. But I'm pulling over 500 watts into the headwind, trying to keep it as fast as possible. And the goal here, like I said, is to just eat as much time as I possibly can out of Lockwood's gap. He's still off the front. He's still out there by himself. And I'm just doing what I can to hopefully cut that down so that when the sprint does come, the idea is that Julian can come past him, maybe with like a 2 or 3 second gap out of that last corner. The peloton catches and Julian get across. But yeah, I pull off there. That was my pull. My day is done. We're gonna jump to some of the overhead footage from LA Crits, the live stream, so that you guys can see how the finish unfolds. Julian is in great position here. All right, that is Corey Lockwood coming through the very last corner and barreling down the finishing straight. Spoiler alert here, we do not catch him, even with me absolutely hammering that last lap. Man, all the dudes who worked just so hard, we couldn't do it. So Julian is now opening up his sprint. Yogi led that out with Ice Speed Felt, and Dante just comes flying around, man. The dude looks like a rocket in there. So Dante mops it up for second. Blazers go 1-2. Julian comes home third. We did put him on the box. That dude can freelance like no other. Overall, I'm super proud of our result. You know, we're just a couple of Cat 2s out here racing the Pro 1 through 3. We're doing the best we can, and we're learning a lot, man. And today was a good example of that. And so the dynamic duo, if you will. There's me crossing the line looking terrible because I'm dead. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Shout out to LA Crits and Ray Mars for such a great stream. That just has changed the LA cycling scene in a lot of ways. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash that like button for me. And if you want to see some more videos, well, click on one of these ones up here on the screen. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.